it's Marcus from Retro Game Players. Welcome to today's review of Cloudy with a Chance, no. Meatwad from Aqua Teen, no. Super Meat Boy. Yes, that's it. And this is a great game. In fact, this is one of the best games I've played in the last 5 years, which makes it not quite retro, but if you watch this video in a few years, it will be retro. This game is a complete throwback and plays homage to games like Mega Man, Kid Chameleon, Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Mario Bros., and other tough platforming games. One thing that's excellent about this game, as you'll see, is the difficulty ramps up quite nicely. It eases you into it. It doesn't just push you over the cliff and make you struggle. And real quick, let me just say, I would move all these Game Gear games. I know that it seems like I'm displaying them. I'm not. I'm actually in a transitional phase with this, and I don't know where to put it at the moment as my game room is growing. We're going to be doing some future unboxing videos, but right now, I don't know what to do with this here. So please bear with me. But I will tell you what, let's check out this game. It's gonna rock. Alright, so before we begin, let's go ahead and go over these controls. It's going to only take about 10 minutes to cover all the controls as they're very complicated, but I know it'll be worth it in the end. So I hope you brought a voice memo recorder, perhaps a pen and paper, and let's go ahead and cover that now. Alright, that was a total lie. So basically the controller only has 2 buttons. We've got a jump button, we have a run button. In other situations, that run button is going to be used as a special button. So 3 possible functions total. And you move around with the D-pad, and you're going to be jumping like crazy, so get used to that.
Super Meat Boy!
Whoa, now that's how you start an intro to a game. I mean, Super Meat Boy, they say that with passion. Alright, so here we are. We're starting the first level, the forest. And what do we have here? Oh, not in the face. You know what? This is a classic throwback here to one of the best intros ever made. Let's go ahead and show a clip of that. Bam! You know, I've always wondered what building this is. I mean, is Street Fighter 2 a corporation? I don't know. Anyway, I digress. Alright, the forest. So we're starting the first world here. It's an overhead map similar to Super Mario 3. Basically, all progression throughout the game is locked until you beat the level you're on, and then it unlocks the next level. This is a simple formula that stood the test of time and is very useful for just kind of gauging how many levels there are to a particular world. And also you'll notice the boss level there at the end. So it's just a great way to kind of keep orientated throughout the game. And you'll just say, you know what, that level 19 is just driving me crazy. And it'll continue to drive you crazy until you conquer it and move on to level 20. So, great format. Starting at level 1, you'll notice that there's just one little pink meat princess up there. That's our goal. We need to go and rescue her. So, when you run and you go grab her through every level, that's all you gotta do. The problem is by the time you reach her, she's either punched in the face or wrapped in a cape, whatever, but she's whisked away to the next level. And this just keeps happening over and over. So at the start of the second level, you're given a small tutorial, which is helpful in showing you how to wall jump, which is a classic staple of any retro game, the wall jump. How could we ever live without that? This game does such a good job of just easing you into the pain that you will be experiencing on later levels. The early levels are easy to conquer, and that just keeps you going, you know? And one thing that's so nice, too, is how fast this game flows. Every level, you complete it, it starts the next one immediately. That's just so nice to have a game respond that way. In fact, I would say that the menus and the interface and the way the levels load are almost a testament to how the game itself controls, as exampled here, as I jump through a saw blade on a little stick rotating around, just to show how effortlessly easy it is to maintain control of this little Super Meat Boy. Now the flip side, a game with this kind of precision and control, that just means one thing. It means that when you're dying over and over and over again, you can't blame that saw blade for just popping out of nowhere. You can't blame that platform for not being there. It's your fault. You could have avoided it if you were better at controlling your character, Super Meat Boy, throughout these perilous levels. When you've died 50 times, which don't think that 50 times is a high number to be dying on one of these levels, by the way, but when you die that many times and you throw your controller on the ground and stomp on it or get the car and run it over, you can only blame yourself. Unfortunately, the game respawns at a rate faster than a jackrabbit in heat. So every single death, you're immediately rewarded with an instant start at the beginning of the level again, which is why it's so hard to put this game down. Every time you die, yeah, you might be frustrated, but it starts you right back at the beginning. It's like, hey, what are you doing? Keep playing. Why stop? There's never a screen that says game over or start again, try again, continue, anything like that. It's just like, bam, here you go. What are you going to do? You going to keep playing or are you going to give up? Wimp. Now's a good time to tell you why I'm grabbing that stupid little bandage there. You might be saying, why are you wasting your time with that? I thought you were supposed to be saving the meat princess. Well, the bandages are kind of like Sonic's Chaos Emerald. You want to be collecting them, and honestly, if you can make it to the end without dying, which I just did, you'll see I have to collect the bandage again, then you'll unlock different things like characters and bonus modes and stuff like that. So you want to be getting the bandages, but you don't have to. It's just part of the game's replay value, which I think is very high. Okay, let's see if I can get to the end with that bandage that I acquired. Pretty close now. I love those blocks that you touch and they disappear. Lots of games have had those. Tons of platformers. I love how I can buy time on a wall too, by just jumping off of it over and over. Alright, final stretch. Yes. Bandage get. After every level that you beat, you'll be presented with this screen. It's basically a replay with every single attempt played simultaneously. Very cool to watch, and it's just one more gaming element that adds to the Super Meat Boy death experience. You just don't feel like those deaths are in vain when you get to watch them all replay out at once in front of you. All in all, an excellent effect that I'm sure you'll find satisfying as you realize how many attempts it actually took you to complete the level. Now, speaking of attempts, I could just show you the one run where I make it to the end in one shot and it seems like I'm just some kind of Super Meat Boy super god, but what's the fun in that? Instead, I'm going to show you all of my attempts in high speed mode, and then I'll play the actual run where I make it to the end in normal mode. So let's go ahead and do that now. Whoa! That's a little crazier than I thought it was going to be. Dying left and right, jumping around. Okay. So I'm having a pretty good run right here. Feeling it, looking good, made it to the end, think I got him, and oh no, I just misstepped a little bit, and I killed him, but I also died, so does that mean that I made it through? Did I make it? Son of a bitch! Alright, start the high speed again. Talk about a disappointing way to end the level. And it really kind of affects your game, you know? I mean, from here on out, I'm kind of playing like crap, and it's like, I don't know, it just shakes you up. You know, you think you're beating the level, and then bam! Not quite, you know? Kind of reminds me of like a double KO in a fighting game or something, but way lamer. Not to worry. This game is frustrating and has moments just like any other game, but alright, here's my final run. You can see I'm starting out very methodical, slow, taking my time. Crossing the saw blade Sauna of Hell there. Love that wall, gotta jump away from it. And here it is, the final stretch. That's right. Stupid bastard. Hope you burn in that piece of crap. And what great platformer doesn't have laser beams? I mean, who doesn't love a good laser to the face? The game's difficulty starts to ramp up around here, and you'll be having some good old times. I mean, here I am just struggling to get out of the bottom of this weird pit. But that's the cool thing about this, is that it just keeps adding different gameplay dynamics, which really helps the game feel fresh and innovative level after level. At some point there'll start to be levels with some puzzle design, which is really nice. It adds a different kind of thought process, makes you want to sit there and think about it for a little bit. Like for example, this level takes me quite a few tries to get by, but you'll notice there's a bandage above that gear in the middle. And honestly, I have no idea how to grab that. I could spend a lot of time trying to figure it out, and I might come back and try it, but just for the sake of this review, I'm just going to focus on getting by. And you know, it seems like a good time to mention the excellent music and sound design on this game. The composer Danny Baranowski is just phenomenal at what he does here. He creates a very groovy soundtrack that really doesn't get old. And I really encourage you guys to check it out. In fact, go ahead and check out my playthrough of it on this channel, and you'll hear all the tunes. I mean, it's just an awesome soundtrack. It's extremely well done. Very, very cool. So great job, Danny. Now, I actually really enjoyed this level. I liked the glass and the needle piles that you need to avoid, and I like these purple little blobs that are floating around that look really depressed. You know, but the thing here is we're going to go into time-lapse mode for this because this is going to take me a long time. There's a bandage right there that I want to get, and it's going to take me a bunch of tries. So let's go ahead and go into time-lapse mode. Now you'll also notice I start to go a different way here. And I think first it's by accident. Right here I end up flying through the left wall here, coming back down, trying to jump back up and die. And I think, well, maybe I can get up there that way. And so I kind of keep trying it, and then eventually I actually do make it up on my final run. So I kind of jump up here on my left and just kind of manage to hop up the side. And that's another cool thing about this game is that there's just alternate ways to go on some of these other levels. And this part kind of threw me for a loop the first time I got here. There's a big fan whirling around, and you can actually ride the wind gust up. But this is how you get the bandage, by coming down here. I was very patient, maybe a little too patient. Sometimes it's best to just go balls out and run for things, but, you know, I don't know. That blob was in my way. I didn't want to risk it. There we go. I'm going to climb back up. And watch out for that blade. Right up. And then this part took me a little bit. You have to kind of bounce off. And you got to make sure you're holding your run button, too. Another little side jump. It's very parkour style. You know, it's like I'm doing parkour. So I did want to highlight this level here. This is some awesome level design, in my opinion. And basically, it's got these little elevators that you ride up, and they shoot you up into the air. And it's really difficult. I don't know how many times I died on this, but it was a lot. And what you actually have to do is you don't even hit jump. You just hit left to right as you near the top of each little elevator thing. So you have to do that and nail the timing just right. So it took me quite a few tries to get this, but once I did, I mean, the level of reward that I felt was pretty awesome. So here it is. Yeah, that was very cool. Great level. Here's all my deaths. You can see how many it took. Here's a unique level with some rocket launchers that fire heat-seeking missiles. You do have to jump around quite a bit to avoid them. But one thing I found out after about 30 playthroughs is that you can just run as fast as you can from right to left, and you can avoid those rockets with just a little finesse. There's also a bandage on this level, which is worth getting, and it's right next to the end part there at the bottom where the meat princess is. So definitely grab that on your way out. Here's the time lapse of me attempting over and over. And then here is the actual run through right here. So you can see I'm just running as fast as I can from right to left. Just a little bit of dodging there. And in this last part, you want to touch those blocks and grab the bandage. Now this is the last level we're going to cover. It's a very straightforward level with a lot of wall jumping, and if you just want to rescue the meat princess, it's super easy. But there's a bandage here right on the left, and that's what we're going to go after. There's this wall of saw blades coming at you. You do have to move quickly, but you can go in between those blades in certain spots or even below it. So here I am trying to figure that out. I figure if I can get on this ledge, I might be able to just jump right in between there, but that didn't work. Now I know if I was a little bit more persistent, I could get in between those two saw blades. But in the end what I do is I actually kind of drop down to the bottom of the screen and wall jump just as the thing is passing above me. And that works. It just takes me a while to get to that point, so I'm going to fast forward and then show you the final run through. You know, this game is such a tribute to all the classic platformers from the day, including this really similar scene from Kid Chameleon where a wall of doom slowly opposes upon you and you have to outrun it. It is so intense.
In fact, it might be a little bit more intense than this level on Super Meat Boy. So here I am trying to figure this out, and I'm going to do this in slow motion. You got to jump down, slide, bam, jump over, and you're clear. So there's my bandage hanging on that pole. I'm just going to run over here and jump up on this thing. And then I'm going to time it, jump, pa-ching, and then jump over this pathetic pile of salt, jump over here, and then for some reason I jump off that wall. That didn't make sense. And then there's my meat princess.
Well, there you have it, folks. An excellent game. An excellent game indeed. I recommend you find this wherever you can and play it until your fingers bleed, because you will love it. You will love dying in this game. I'm not sure why, but it's just so rewarding to die. Super Meat Boy deserves the best of the best awards. In fact, I'm bestowing upon this game the Great Sparkly Turtle. Behold its elegance, and feast upon the jewels. So that about wraps it up for Super Meat Boy. Don't forget to say it like that, because it sounds good when you do. If this is a great game, play it until your fingers bleed. I think you're going to need some luck playing this game, so I don't know, get a rabbit's foot, maybe drink a can of green Kool-Aid, whatever it is that makes you feel lucky. Go ahead and do that, and then play this game. You'll appreciate that advice. So, happy gaming. Thanks for tuning in. Please click like and subscribe if you're not a viewer already. I think you should be. And we'll see you again soon. Happy gaming.
We'll forget you something. Stretch out with your feelings.